All right, man. What did you think about the whole press conference and Teal's demeanor and all of that, man?
Well, I
Oh,
mean, I think both guys have that unique, both guys are good at marketing. I'll just say that. I mean, Tio, obviously, he pushes the boundary a lot with what he says, to be honest. Let's just
yeah,
keep it real, right? There's a lot of people that can be disgruntled, but end of the day, I mean, you don't have to be a fan of it, but it gets clicks, and that's what guys need to do in boxing, I guess, if you want to say that. And so, I mean, I think, and Shakur's really come out of his shell. I think you've seen the past year, maybe 18 months, especially specifically the past year, he's really got better at the marketing and the business side of that. So I think that press conference was actually quite entertaining in my opinion. And so
right.
I think they did a lot to actually help boost the fight because it is a fight that's gonna be tough to sell to non-boxing like big time fan just because you're not going to get a bunch of KO highlight reels between these two dudes. Like they have some, but it's not that type of guy. So they're going to have to build up that other way. I think they did a good job at that.
Yeah, I think him being with Eddie
Mm-hmm.
understands how marketing the fighters
Right.
work and everything, and I think that that's a good fit for him. Even though he was doing his thing at Top Rank, but
Right.
I
Right.
think he really catapulted once he got with Eddie. His name more out there, anyways.
That's for sure. Yeah, no, Eddie's the best at building brands. I mean, when you talk about what he's done with so many guys in terms of getting them to that star level, I mean, he's good at that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look what he's doing with Boots, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep, for sure.
Yeah, no, Tio, he was a little more calm than usual, though, I thought,
That's true.
like he
Mm-hmm.
wasn't like off the rail. I mean, he was saying some kind of he was off the rails on some of the
Off
stuff.
the
I was
rails
just
for
like,
90% of people, but for T.O., it's not off the rails, right?
right. So that was good. And then they did their little tour. And I like that it's in New York. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I got my ticket, man. I'm going up
You're
there.
gonna go? That's what's up. So
Yeah,
where
I
are you
was like,
located at?
I'm in Chicago.
Okay, gotcha. So it's not too bad
Yeah.
of a flight then out there, huh?
Yeah, it's not bad. It's like less than 2 hours. It's like an hour and a half, hour 45 minute flight.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
yeah, I like it. A quick flight there and right back. I was like, I'm not missing this one.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. For true boxing fans, this is gonna be one of the best fights of the year, probably. I mean, I know, like I said, some other casual fans that want to see KOs aren't gonna like it that much, but if you love
Right,
boxing, I mean, it does not get too much better than that. I mean, we're talking about two guys that are both in the prime. I'd say two top 15 being generous, probably even higher than that fighters in all the world right now, talent wise. I mean,
right.
it doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, I mean, Shakur can box his ass off, man. He might not have the
Hmm.
pop, but he can move. He doesn't get hit.
Right, right.
I like this style. A lot of people think it's boring. I enjoy the defense. I
Hmm.
like the offense, style too. Don't get me wrong, but I mean,
Yeah,
I respect the defense and what he does, man. And
yeah.
Tio, on the other hand, I know he always struggles with boxers like Jermaine Ortiz and
Hmm.
Sandors Martin.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. And but I think he knows the level of competition's up and he needs to perform like how he's been doing when he fought
Right,
Taylor.
right.
So
Hmm.
that's what I'm thinking.
That's a good point. Yeah, no, I think both guys elevate and they rise to the stardom of that level. Like I think you said, like Tio, there's been a lot of performances recently. Now, I would say he did great on this on the New York Times Square card. He was great in that performance. But obviously, it wasn't
Right,
a statement win in terms of flash flare, the signature Tio. But especially the few fights before that, I mean, they were very lackluster performances. And so I think
right.
when you see Tio getting against a guy like a Josh Taylor, Lomachenko, those type of guys that are like those true elite guys where you have to go in there if you're not on your A game, you're going to lose. I think we see the best out of him. So that's why I feel like we're going to see a very, very good version of Tia. Now, I do have Shakur winning that fight, my prediction, but I think we're going to see an incredible fight where Tia is going to have probably one of the best performances. It's going to be a situation, too, where I think we will look back at it and say, there's not really a loser in the fight, if that makes sense. Obviously, someone's going to lose, but it's going to be one of those fights that's like, okay, that's a good loss. Like, there's nothing anyone's going to critique you about. Both guys were incredible. It's not going to derail their careers. We might even see a rematch one day. It's going to be one of those type of situations.
Right. Because it ain't gonna be one sided like Crawford Spence. We're not gonna see that. We're gonna see
Mm-hmm.
some elite boxing. Teal's athletic as hell, man. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He's strong. So and like we're saying, they're both in their prime, man. Like
Yeah.
just starting at their prime. So we're getting this at the right time. And as I'm tired of all that marinating and let's set up these fights to set up that fight. Like let's just get the fight. Let's just do it, man.
No, I
So
agree with that. Yep.
all right, and you're picking Shakur. I'm picking Tio. So
Okay, gotcha.
I
It's
think
fair
he's
enough.
gonna, yeah, because they haven't said anything, but with Turkey and all of that, I honestly think he's putting pressure for Shakur to fight, not to move around. You know what I mean? I think
That's
he's like
true.
because he's like paying the bills and stuff. So I think he has a lot of leverage on how the way they're fighting. He might even, like he'd said, like get the smaller ring. You never know,
Right,
like,
right.
and if that happens, I mean, it's gonna just favor Tio even more. So
That's
we'll
true. That's
see. We'll
true.
see what happens closer to the fight during the weigh-in. We'll see how they look, and
Hmm.
we'll touch back. We'll touch base back on this and
Right, right,
see
for
if we're
sure.
gonna change our picks or anything.
For sure. No, I do love the card though. I know it's not officialized, but some of the rumors of those fights going down, like that card, we're gonna see quite a few world championship fights on that thing. I think the Hitchens one will be very fun. I know that's rumored that he's gonna fight either Ortiz or someone. That's gonna be
Yeah,
fun. I mean, that undercard's gonna be good. So
right. They said Shushu Carrington's also gonna
right,
be on
he's on
that
there.
card.
Yep, Cash. He's fighting Castro. Yep,
Yeah, Castro, and then Ammo Williams is gonna be on that card
that's
also.
right, right,
He's
right. He's gonna
fighting
be
the
doing the fight against
Dominican.
Dames, right?
Yeah, yeah, the
Yep.
Dominican. So that's all like that right there, man. Everyone's gonna, it's gonna, if it hasn't, it's gonna sell out, and
Mm-hmm.
it's that's what, man, we needed this, like boxing, like good to set the tone 2026. Like, let's go, you know?
Yep. I think on top of that too, with the rumors heating up that we could be getting March now, it seems Boots and Virgil's me fighting each other. That's huge. I mean, we could get two guys, both American type fighters fighting in America, both in the prime. If we have those two fights, I don't remember the last time we've had two guys in the physical body primes fighting in the same calendar year. I mean, I don't remember the last time this really happened, let alone two of them. So I mean, that would be huge for American boxing to kick off the year.
Right, right. No, man, I haven't heard that, but if that happens in March, that's gonna
Mm-hmm.
be outstanding. That's probably be a Vegas fight, I think.
It is gonna be
It,
Vegas. Yep, that's
it
what they
is
said. Yep,
Vegas.
they said
That,
this, they should. They had a 6 hour negotiation on Wednesday, I believe it was of last week, and they said that hopefully within the next 10 days at that point in time. So what is that now? The next 4 or 5 days that they should hopefully get the deal locked in now.
all right, you heard it here first, guys. All right, because that's the other thing. You got Boots in Philly and
Hmm.
Virgil in Texas. You gotta, make it fair so that
Right.
Vegas is the perfect spot for that. So
And the reason I like that too is that I think we look at both guys. Neither one I think would you'd say is a true superstar yet. I think they're both budding superstars. Where, like you say, obviously you find Texas for Virgil, he's going to sell out, massive name. Put him
right,
anywhere else in the world right now, it's probably not going to sell out. Same thing with Boots Ennis in Philly. But you put them both in Vegas, obviously they're going to create massive fan bases. And the winner of that fight, I think both guys, to be honest, would come
right,
out victorious. Where it's like, okay, this is the type of fight that really grows your brand, and you now kind of make that transition from a local domestic type fighter to a true overall American brand and also worldwide brand. So that'd be huge for both guys.
I got it. You think we're getting all these fights with the how everything's changing out with TKO in the mix now, so it's putting pressure on all these promoters. You think that's what's pushing them to making these fights, or
I
what
don't
do you,
know. I
or
mean, I honestly, I mean, I'll be honest. I know people kind of go have their thoughts on Turkey and Dana and all those guys. I mean,
yeah,
at this point in time, I do think a lot of it's kind of blown up proportion. Just my own personal thought. Now, obviously, Muhammad Ali Act, that's separate. Obviously, I get why people are upset with that aspect. But in terms of just TKO in and of itself, and I know they're trying to buy over USA Boxing right now and all these different types of things. Like I don't think he's going to walk into this and all of a sudden have these massive fights. It's going to be a
right,
building up process. I think that's what Dana's totally bought into. I mean, we talk about the first fight is going to be at the Apex. It's not going to be
right,
heading, and it's not going to be a massive fight. It's going to be the day before the massive USC debut on Paramount. It's going to have some maybe decent contenders. Maybe you get a top 15 fighter. Maybe that's maybe being generous. Like it's not going to be big yet. And so I think we'll just be patient with it. I mean, at the end of the day, he's going to have to earn his way. I know Turkey's going to be backing financially, but I think we just
right,
have to be patient. Like right now, for the next calendar year at least, I don't think it's going to be this massive issue or it's going to be combating everything. Now, will there be competition? Does Oscar like him? Absolutely not. Eddie Hearn and him obviously have a rivalry, but is it this polarizing thing where he's going to come in, just destroy or take over the sport in the next 2 or 3 months? I think that's ridiculous. It's not going to happen that way. So I
right.
do think it's a little bit blown proportion. He's going to have to work his way to earn that. But I mean, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Did you see what Bernard Hopkins was saying at the WBA convention?
No, I didn't hear it. He said, what did he say?
Okay, he was just talking how that that they let the door open, not doing fights like all promoters, not just
That's
himself,
true.
and
Yeah.
even like he called out Oscar for selling the ring and everything. He's like, my partner sold the ring to them, and now they have it,
Mm-hmm.
and he was just pretty blunt. I reposted it on my page, so you could check it out later.
Okay.
And on
No,
the
that's interesting. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, like we said, at the end of the day, especially, I mean, the reason Turkey came into the thing is that there was an avenue open. And now, obviously, Saudi Arabia is trying to do, and it's kind of gets political. They're trying to do, obviously, this massive thing to get people to go to Saudi. But the reason they
Right.
got into boxing is there was this massive door open. If people were making big fights happen, it wouldn't have been something where he could have walked in and made all these things happen. Like it is at the promoter's fault at the end of the day. Now, obviously, I think we've seen all of them start to work together, which has been great to see. But
Right.
I mean, still, yeah, there was for many, many years. What do you want to call it? A decade, maybe. How many big fights did we miss out on? I think we could both list well over 20 fights that we could have looked at and said, this fight should have happened. There's no reason it didn't happen. Boxing politics, these different things happen. If they did the job, Turkey would not have had to come in and be this quote unquote savior of the sport right now. So, I mean, at the end of
Right.
the day, it is their fault the door was open for them. Upcoming week, we have the Jake Paul, whatever you want to call it. And then Wednesday is a stack day as well, coming up for that aspect. But then this past week, Diego Pacheco, he did his fight. Then you had the heavyweight fight in Dubai, Kubrat Polo, he fought Masiev. And then you have Badu Jack, Noah Mikhailian. So those were the main ones that went down this past weekend. It was
Yeah.
Lamont
Front
Roach,
fight.
Pitbull Cruz, and the
Ah,
PBC
there you
card.
go. That's right. That's the one it was. What'd you think of
Mm-hmm.
that one?
I thought the card was good. Now, I'll just go break it down side by side. Obviously, there's the four main ones. Hey, I say five. Frank Martin, I was blown away by that one. I know people will say 38-year-old runs East Bartholomew and so on and so forth. I
Mhm.
thought he looked incredible. We're talking about a man that's outside of the ring for about 18 months, which I thought was foolish to be honest, but he was outside for a long time. He made his mark. He did his job. I think he was phenomenal in that performance. Jesus Ramos did his job. I think he's a very good talent right there. Only 24 years old. Obviously now interim champion at 160. Should get the Dominus fight within the next calendar year or so if he wants it. He did his job there. The Kool-Aid Fulton and the Shockey Foster one. It was a statement win by Shockey. It was great. I thought it was gonna be possibly the best fight on the card. It obviously was not that. It was just an absolute masterclass there. And so,
Right.
I thought it was great. I don't know what was going on with Cool Boy. I think something was going on with his body and it wasn't focused. That not to take anything with him with Shockey, but still something was off with Cool Boy there. And then obviously we know the Laura and Janivek fight, which could have been the best fight on that card, was
Yeah,
destroyed.
that's unfortunate.
That just deployed everything there. And so it was never going to be a fun fight. You're gonna have a last minute guy, and I don't like the way Laura performed that fight. He should have knocked him out
No.
earlier on. So that was a disappointing one. The main event, though, I think that was perfect. I thought that was a great fight. I'm surprised Lamont Roach fought the way he did there. I thought this man was going to go out there and box skilled wise, and I was still blown away. I know he probably wanted to earn respect to people, but we saw Rayo give the blueprint how to beat Pitbull Cruz, and we all
Right.
admit Lamont Roach is 10 times the fighter Rayo is, probably more than that to be honest. But I don't know why he wanted to go in the pocket and exchange with him. That was blown away. Now I thought he still won the fight, but I think he could have cleanly and easily won that fight if he just fought his style and didn't try to find Pitbull style. And so it was a good fight, very entertaining. I just was a little bit baffled by the way he went out there and what he did in the ring.
Yeah, he just had it too, like you said, he should have stuck to the game plan and boxed. If I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure that was the game plan. I don't, and he made it too close where you can't dispute the draw. You know what I mean? Like
Right. Yeah, I
other
agree.
people are like, I could see it. You know what I mean? If he would have just boxed from the get go, it would have been all
Right.
right.
For
And
sure. Yeah.
yeah, so if they didn't take that point away, they would have gave the fight to Cruz.
Exactly. Yeah. No facts. Yeah.
So so that
Yeah.
that's why you got to watch that. Even talking about Ramos, he with the Lubin fight too. Like I was watching it with my buddy, and he's
Mhm.
talking like that they stole it, that they robbed him, and I said, well, he took the foot off the gas. That's on him, like
Yeah. Yep.
he had the fight and he gave it away. Like he just I think Lubin touched him up a couple times and he felt it and he just kind of coasted around and gave the
Mm-hmm.
last rounds away, thinking he was ahead and can't do
Yeah.
that.
Mm-mm.
So I was happy. I liked his performance against Mosley Jr. I think he
Right.
fought really, really well, man. And I keep forgetting how young he looks. He looks older,
Yeah,
not
that's a
just in
fact.
the
Yep.
face. He looks like an older guy, but yeah, he's a
Mhm.
young dude.
Oh yeah,
And
no, I'm excited to see what he does too because he has the 160 opportunity, but he was on my show a little bit ago. He said he's still well open to 154 as well, and so obviously the better fights and the bigger fights, more money is at 154. 160 is a disaster right now, so
yeah, I
obviously
guess
it's
it
like,
is.
I mean, you have two belts opening up right now with Janet Bex, both gonna be vacated most likely. Laura obviously not a big payday, and Adamas is not a big payday either. Obviously, the only like the big option there would be Bud. If Bud goes down there, everyone wants that fight because that's the only guy you can get money for, and it's obviously a good win on your resume. But outside of that, I mean, 160 is very dry. If you can become a world champion, I'd become it. But if you have to wait too long, I wouldn't be shocked to see him go back down to 154.
Right. I would just start picking them belts off them guys, man, and make himself
Yeah,
the man because he got a good style that's
yeah,
entertaining to watch, and then people get behind them and like them and stuff. So
good point. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And then we got the Jake Paul Joshua fight, man. Do you think Jake Paul has a shot?
All right. I'll say this.
I want,
It's boxing. I'm never, if you're inside of a ring and you're throwing bombs, you always have a chance. A puncher's chance is a term for a reason. I'll give him that. Outside of a puncher's chance where you somehow land that a miracle punch, and I don't even know if he has the power to do that, but hypothetically speaking, just off of history, no. I mean, absolutely not. Now, I know people go out there and say it's going to be rigged. I'll just make it clear on this aspect. If it's a professional fight, which it is, and you're going to have betting open for the fight, which they are, if they do rig it, that would be a federal crime. So just
right,
make it very clear. I know a lot, and that's why Jake Paul is so clear on making sure they're looking into that. And if people are going out there and saying they're going to sue you, because that is a legitimate issue. We're seeing all the gambling issues in America right now, in baseball, basketball, football, everything's going on right now. You can't
right,
do that. And so just making that clear. I know a lot of people want to say these things. It cannot be rigged. That's the reason you can't bet on the WWE in America because it's a scripted thing. Like you can't do that.
right,
And so just to put that out there, but what I do think will happen, and I know AJ has come out there and says he's going to knock him out quickly. It could happen. He did against Francis, but I do think it's going to happen between rounds 3 to 5, possibly. And the only reason I say that is not because AJ can't and wouldn't want to knock him out early. The whole point of this fight is because he has not been in the ring for 18 months. Either way, it was going to be against an absolute bum. Eddie Hearn says it's going to be someone that maybe was in the top 100, maybe in the top 100 heavyweights. It was always going to be against a bum. And so when you look at that aspect, he just wants to get in the ring, get some ring rust, get some, just activity. If he goes out there and knocks him out in 10 seconds, that does nothing for him. So I
right, right,
do think he's going to probably try just moving around the ring, figure out style. Obviously, switching training groups now with Usyk's camp. You're going to be in a position where you're trying to work on skill set more than just power. So I think we're going to see him kind of work Jake Paul a little bit, especially with the rumors now coming out too. A big 2026 is ahead of him. Obviously, a fight most likely in February, March, April time, and then the big one, Fury. Like he's gonna have to get ready for that. And so I do think it's gonna happen around there. But did Jake Paul win? I would never put a penny on that happening.
right.
But obviously, I mean, I don't think people if it doesn't knock him out in the first round or two, I think there's a reason behind it. I don't want people to go out there saying it's rigged or whatever. I think just AJ's game plan, but he's gonna get him out there whenever he wants to get him
Yeah,
out.
yeah. Like you're saying, he needs to get his rounds in and get
Mm-hmm.
he's fight ready.
Right, exactly. I will say
Yeah,
this though too. Big props to Jake Paul for taking it. I mean, on all honesty, like I know a lot of people want to bash the guy. How many guys would actually want to step foot in the ring with AJ?
right,
Like, I'm just saying, I don't care how much money you're paying him. It goes back to the question people used to have, like the '90s and all that. Would you get paid $1 million to get punched by Mike Tyson? Well, he took that option. I was going to get paid like 50 or 60 million, but still, like you
right.
don't want to get punched by a guy like AJ. Whether you like him or not, AJ is a bad, bad man. We've seen what he does. He's done to Francis and these countless other guys.
Right.
Like
Gold
he could get
medalist,
seriously hurt.
former champion,
Right. Yeah. There's no
and
joke
the
in this
size
one.
of them too, because that's the thing. Jake Paul always had the size advantage on all his fighters, and
Right.
he
Right.
don't
Yep.
have it. And I
Yeah.
like this fight a lot better than the Tank one. I just had zero interest in
Yes.
that one, but this one I like it for the entertainment purposes of all of it,
Mm-hmm.
and I've always gave Jake Paul his props for everything he did for the sport. Putting boxing versus bullying and all that stuff for the kids, and then
Right.
putting all the
Right.
women on, on their cards and getting them all
Yep.
their record number paydays. So it's
Mm-hmm.
always props to him. I ain't like some people want to see it like him get destroyed and out of there because he has been good for the sport.
Thank you. Yeah. No, I love what you said there. That's a fact. I think so many people want to hate on this YouTube thing, and it just makes no sense. It's like they don't want to look at the big picture. End of the day, whether people like it or not, he is debatably the biggest name in all boxing right now. And some people want to say his YouTuber doesn't count. How does he not count? He's making
Right,
fights that we are watching on Netflix, on his Fonda Zone. Like he's doing big fights. He's obviously doing for the boxing. Now, has he had the amateur and the building up process? No, but he's bringing in money. He's got multiple guys, like you said, big paydays on his undercard. The women, he's been massive for women's boxing, absolutely revolutionized everything in that regard. Has pretty much the entire women's stable is under his name outside of like 2 or 3 girls. Like he's done phenomenal things there, and he's grown the sport. Like obviously, these are massive fights. Whether you like it or not, more people are going to watch Jake Paul than a lot of these guys. They're tuning in to Netflix why they want to pick it up. I mean, I think he's been good for the sport. I'm glad you said that too.
yeah. I gotta I'll give him his salute too. Like for just everything and good luck. He's gonna need
Right.
it. And
Yeah.
I was
Hopefully makes
watching
it out
the
okay.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Mhm.
I'll be entertained and something to do on Friday. So,
That's a fact.
and
Yep.
years wrapping up. I talked to you before, like what fight do you think like didn't get enough recognition that should have more people talk about besides hardcore boxing fans? I'm talking about the casuals that
Right,
they should.
right.
What fight do you
Yeah.
think you can think of?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you talk about the big ones that people do know. I mean, Inoue Cardenas was a great one. Obviously, Taraji Akui, obviously, Eubank Ben one. Those are all big ones that anyone will
Right,
probably watch. But other ones I think were underrated. Now, these are just not necessarily great fights overall, but I think these are some of the best, most entertaining fights that were on, undercards or whatever it was. I'd say we go back to February 22nd. I love Callum Smith, Joshua Buatsi. I thought that fight was phenomenal way to kick off the February 22nd Riyadh card. And when you have those massive stat cards, you have that was a rematch of obviously Beterbiev and Bivol. At
right,
that point in time, this was the very first fight. I think it was the entire second fight of the card, whatever it was. Not a lot of people looked at that. That fight was phenomenal right there. And so I think both guys were great. A lot of fans forgot about that one. I love that one. I thought we just had a couple weekends ago. Abdullah Mason, Sam Noakes, phenomenal fight right there. That was
yes,
that was phenomenal. And then Sugar Nunez, Christopher Diaz. Diaz is not the most established, opponent to obviously defend your belt against, but he put up a great fight. That was one of the best fights of the year, most entertaining ones. And then and Billy Lester Martinez, undercard of Bud and Canelo. Obviously, a lot of people did watch that one, but still,
right,
that fight was the fact that those two men were still standing at the end of that fight was baffling to me. That was a war. And then I'll just throw one more in there. The undercard two to the Kenneth Sims Oscar Duarte fight back in Chicago. You're obviously where you're from. I
yeah.
absolutely loved Regis Prograis Jojo Diaz. That fight
Oh
was
man,
very, very fun. Absolute war. Both guys getting rocked multiple times. I mean, that fight was phenomenal. So those are some ones that came to mind. I'm sure there's so many more I'm forgetting, but those ones, I love those. Those are very underrated good fights of the year.
I was there live for that one. I
You
wasn't
were
gonna miss
okay.
it. We don't get a lot of boxing out here, so when they got a show like that, I'm there, you know.
Yeah, because that was the
So
first one of the first like main event they've had there in a while, wasn't it? I think as I said a couple of years or something.
yeah, it's been a long time, like at that magnitude. So
Right.
Oscar, we see I met him at the weigh-ins and at the press conference, and we were
Okay.
talking, and he was just like he's said he's gonna bring more, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully, he does. His people. I'm glad it was during the summertime, so they got to see how beautiful
The
Chicago
good
is.
time of year, right,
Yeah, right.
right.
Right now, it's yesterday was below zero, but
Yeah, that game was crazy. I saw the Chicago and the Cleveland game. It was like
yeah, yeah, it
wind
was
shear
at
was a
the
negative
conservative
30 or
30.
something. Yep.
No, yeah, but his people were really impressed with the city, how beautiful it is. And have you been out here before?
Actually, my very first time ever was this past summer. My mom and I went out there in August. So yeah, that was
Yeah,
I loved it. It was one of my favorite cities I've ever been to.
they were all saying that too. Like they're like, so hopefully they come back. They were impressed because we get a lot
Right.
of bad press out here, but it ain't that serious, you know.
I know
It's
what
a,
you
it's
mean.
a,
Yeah.
yeah. There's a lot of good out here. But back on that card, the Jojo Diaz progress. I mean, the crowd was going nuts. I mean,
Hmm.
Jojo rocked them. I mean, like no one was expecting that, you know. And then
No.
you think he had him. I'm not sure if he dropped him. I know he stunned him a couple times,
Yeah.
but Progress kept his cool, came back, and ended up winning the fight. But that was a fight that you said they're both winners, you know. Like
Hmm.
everyone came out good, and I think Jojo's got another fight. You know, he brought more life to his name again, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
So
he almost had the Floyd Schofield fight. So I don't know how they got that fight possibly lined up. I'm glad they scratched that one off the list. But I mean,
yeah,
he got it in back up. Then I don't like I said, I think he would have been career suicide to fight Floyd. That would put him in a retirement there. But I mean, the point is, like you said, yeah, he got himself elevated again. People are talking about him. So it's in the. I mean, he still has lost what is it, 6 out of the past 8 or whatever it's been. So
right, right.
I mean, putting him with Kid Austin would have been a bad decision. I'm glad they scratched that fight. But no, I think getting another fight that people see on the main card would definitely be worth it.
Right, exactly. And then the other one too, I was thinking of that wasn't even though it should have been talked a lot because it was the heavyweight, but
Mm-hmm.
Dubois and Usyk too,
Yes, that was a
you
good one.
know, because the first one I thought it was a clean shot, you know.
Me too.
Everyone's like the little YouTube.
Yeah, I thought it was clean. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then he went on a tear and then he knocked out Joshua. So I was looking forward to, Dubois like really I really thought he had a good shot and then Usyk just he got another gear, man. You think that's all he
yeah,
got and he just keeps impressing everybody, man. And then
he's
he just
special. Hmm.
yeah, like I mean he knocked out all the giants in the game. So I
Right.
really like that one. Like finished with a knockout, no questions this time and
Hmm.
put everything to rest. But
Now I want to hear what you think. I know obviously we all know it's going to probably happen. Usyk Wilder, which you just said all the giants at heavyweight. That is
yeah,
the final. it's the
So
final
we got to
stone.
get
For so
there.
many years, it was Fury, AJ Wilder. Obviously, we know he's past his prime and all that, but I'll give you my thoughts as well. But I want to know what you think about that one.
I'm happy that he's getting all the names. You
Me
you
too.
you did what you have to do. Get them all down.
Mm-hmm.
Wilder was one of the top guys, and I like for Wilder to get a big payday. He went through them trilogy wars with Fury. I think
Yep.
it took out a lot from both of them. More
Yep.
Wilder, but I think Fury, like he won't admit it, but it took a lot out of him too. You know,
Definitely.
like
Definitely. Yep.
not they didn't come back out the same because no one dropped Fury like that. I mean, in that last fight, I was there at that one too, the third
Okay.
one. Yeah, the place was rocking, and the back and forth until Fury finally got him out. Like
Yeah.
it was just crazy. Those are two guys I wouldn't want to get hit by, man.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. I don't think I want to get hit by any heavyweight, to be honest with you.
Right,
But
right.
I know what you mean, though, for sure. Yeah.
Oh man. So what are you thinking with the Wilder Usyk? You want to
Yeah. No,
see that or
I do actually. Now, do I want to see it because I know it's going to happen? And I'll be honest, I'm not. I'm someone that's just try to say not biased with anybody. Like I don't have a fan favorite of anybody, but I will admit that I have a little bit different, significance, I should say, or feelings towards Wilder because he's the very first guy that got me into boxing, and so I have to
okay?
say that about him. Like that was something I do like, and so knowing that there's a 99 point, a gazillion 9% chance I know what's going to happen in that fight, that he's going to be put to bed, isn't what I really want to go out there and see. But like you
Right,
said, when you talk about it from Usyk's standpoint, all the people throwing a fit about it and saying he's not fighting Fabio and all these things, I think it's ridiculous. Let's be honest. This heavyweight era is not the best era ever. It's probably one of the worst. And Fabio, I like Fabio, but it's not. If Joseph Parker beat Fabio Wardley, I would say, okay, there's a man that's clearly earned that shot, and that'd be Joseph Parker. Fabio
right,
just obviously beat Joseph Parker, but has he like become this guy that's defending belts or doing different things? No. And so it's not a mandatory thing. In any ways, he's already vacated that belt anyway, so it is what it is. I don't think it's that
right,
big of a deal. He goes and fights Wilder early next year, probably springtime. I said April, March, whatever it is. I don't think he's going to take much damage. Now, obviously, Wilder could do it, and that'd be one of the greatest knockouts ever. But odds are very, very high. Usyk just gets out of that fight unscratched. He's a-okay. Can go fight the winner of Fabio and whoever he fights, later on in the year. I don't think it's that big of a deal. By far, the biggest payday he's going to get outside of an AJ or Fury fight. Being in America, I know he's always said he wanted to go fight out here again. Great opportunity
right,
there. And like you said, end of the day, it's not Prime Wilder, but on the resume, Fury, AJ, Wilder, all three of them being knocked off would be huge for your career. Why not just go out there and do it? It means more. I'd say that still means more than getting Fabio Warrior at this point, in my honest opinion. So
right.
I don't have anything against Usyk taking it. I think it's a-okay in my books. Good for Wilder. It's going to be a great payday for him. It might be the final fight we see him fight in, but it is what it is. I'm all for it, to be honest.
Right. To see Wilder again in a heavyweight fight, championship fight, that'll be awesome. Like you
Yep.
said, and then Fabio, he can fight and get his name up, maybe get a highlight reel in the
Right.
meanwhile, and then hype it up more and get on the
Mm-hmm.
mic, talk some shit and then make the fight big. I mean, you know what I mean? Like that.
Right.
I know we
Exactly.
don't like the marinating, but that's one that could get marinated. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah, no,
should.
definitely.
Like let
And,
him
and they
build
just came
his
out
name
too
up.
saying he's going to probably fight. He might fight, or as Frank Warren said, he could possibly be fighting Derek Chisora now, which I think is you're setting the man up for the 50th fight to go out bad, but whatever. But the point is, if that is what it is, obviously I think it's great because Fabio just becomes even a bigger name in the British scene, which obviously is huge. And the odds are very high that that fight would take place in Great Britain, probably at Wembley again if they do fight with Usyk. So I think it
Right.
makes perfect sense. You can go do that fight in August, September again, make it happen. Like, Usyk's probably not going to get hurt that bad in this fight, to be honest. So he should be a-okay for that.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it, man.
Mm-hmm.
But well, with that being said, anything else you want to touch on before we log off or
I'd say,
I think we caught
I
everything.
mean, we also do have that Japan card coming up if you want to talk about that one. Kind of that's gonna be a huge one going at down in Riyadh and on December 20 or 27th, I believe it is, with Taraji Inoue in June. That's gonna be a huge one too.
Oh shit. Yeah, that is coming up.
Yes, sir. 2 weeks, 2 weekends from Saturday, I guess. So now it's only about a weekend from Saturday. About what is it? 12 days away now.
Yeah. Man, yeah, it's usually he fights on New Year's,
Yeah.
you
No.
know.
Yep.
So
Mm-hmm.
he got him a little early today. Well,
Yep.
yeah, man, anyway, it's just something like he's something else, man. Like, and the guys catch him and stuff. He gets dropped and he gets up and still fights and just like I'm not gonna say like nothing happened, but he recovers nice all the time and then he gets
Mm-hmm.
sticks to his game plan and he
It's
just
like it wakes
breaks
him
guys
up.
down.
I know Cardenas dropped him obviously in that one,
That's the
and then
one.
he was dropped in the fight before that one as well. I think it was two fights before that. Let me pull up his thing. Who was it? I think he's been dropped a total of I think it's been three times.
Yeah, he's got. I mean, his recovery is insane. Like
Yeah.
like you said, it wakes him up. But
Luis Nery did it too.
that's right. That was the last. That fight was entertaining while it lasted.
Yeah, while it
I
lasted, right?
Yeah, I thought Neri was he had the biggest shot I think for an upset compared to from all his previous opponents.
Good point. Yeah, I do agree with that. Yep.
So how are you look? How you what do you think about that fight then, December 22nd?
I think it's going to go as point. Now, I'd say the best fight on the card is the Taraji fight for world championship because that one obviously has the possibility to go unified then for undisputed with Bam. Now, I know Maloney obviously said he's not going to step aside. I think that's going to be BS. He's probably going to take a payday, but that fight is the most competitive, entertaining one. I think June to now, both guys are fighting interesting, tough Mexican style fighters, which is always a threat for anybody. But I think when you say styles make fights, the reason Mexicans can go out there to the UK and American upset guys is because the styles collide in a bad way. When you talk about Japanese fighters, their style is very similar to the Mexican style. I don't think it's going to be as big of a threat for them. So I do think Inoue Junto win quite easily, probably by knockout both of them. I'm most intrigued to see how Junto looks at 122, just from a body structure standpoint, because he is something I think could possibly go up to 130 one day. I mean, he is tall for his weight class. So seeing how he added on that weight will be interesting. But the most exciting thing I think is what happens after that fight. If they both win, we know they're both going to face off, fight in Tokyo Dome in probably May in Japan. That would be huge to see too.
I think that's what they're setting it up for to
Right.
get it both on the cards like they used to do, how they used to do
Mm-hmm.
the fights.
Yeah, no,
So
that would be a huge fight too.
that's all. That's probably why they were doing it a little earlier than usual too.
True, true. Yep, definitely.
No, I like that, man. But all right, I'm running out of time here though,
Sounds
so I
good.
don't want it to get cut off. But I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule and doing this.
For
Um,
sure.
we'll for sure we'll link up again. And then we'll keep doing this. I really enjoyed this and
Absolutely.
chopping it
I'm
up with
always down
you.
to come on, man. It's been a great time having on, man. God bless.
All right then, man. I'll talk to your shoes.
Sounds good. See you, man.
All right, see ya.